Hi, hello. Disclaimer. I'm sorry that the background and the lighting is not that good for this video. I'm still home and there's not a lot of good places to film. Enjoy. Please keep watching because there's a lot of helpful advice. What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you are new, my name is Molly. I make a lot of college, lifestyle, EMS, health and fitness type of videos, and I would love it if you stuck around and click that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm finally sitting down and filming, drumroll please, the NREMT tips and tricks / advice video that has been highly requested and long overdue. A few disclaimers. The clips after this are going to be from a little vlog I did this past Sunday when I worked. And then we'll get on to the tips and tricks. So keep watching this whole video if you want to get to the advice that I have for the National Registry. I have them all right here on my iPad, and I'm going to leave a bunch of links in the description box below that I used and its resources to help you guys. Hello guys, please ignore how terrible I look and how bad this lighting is. I literally look like an egg in this beanie, and I'm covering it up because it says where I work on it. But I just wanted to say that it's 6:44. I'm about to go inside and clock in because I am working a 24-hour shift today. I'm not sure whether or not I am ALS or BLS. I could be either. It just kind of depends who wants to work with who, and I don't really care where I'm placed. So I'll update you guys again on what crew I am. Okay, update time. I'm BLS. ALS just went out on a wellness check regarding a call that happened last night for assault, basically. The guy's getting like threats and they haven't heard from him this morning, so they basically just wanted ALS to go out there and do a wellness check, make sure he's okay and things like that, and the cops are meeting him out there. Not gonna give away any more information than that because I've already said a lot, but I did want to just hop on here and say that I'm BLS. I've just finished checking and stalking the truck with my partner. I didn't record any of that just because I have so many EMS vlogs where I have already checked the truck. So I'll just link some more of those down below if you want to watch how we actually in-depth check the truck. My very first EMS vlog, I done a voiceover and really explain how we check it. But yeah, I look horrible in this clip. I'm so tired, but right now I'm just gonna go inside and be on like standby in case ALS needs us for anything. Super quick before I go inside, this is just your reminder that I do have a 200 subscriber giveaway still up where I am giving away just a $50 Starbucks gift card. So if you want to know how to enter that, I will link that video down in the description box below as well. Follow me on Instagram. I'm really trying to be more active on there. So those are just my like little reminders. Like and subscribe, turn on post notifications. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys can hear me. The air conditioner is a little loud in here, but it's currently 2:05. Another call just came in for a possible stroke. So obviously that was a ALS call, and they had a helicopter on standby in case it really is a legit stroke and he needs to be, or he or she, I don't even know what the patient is, needs to be flown out. That's really all I have to update you on right now. I also just super quick want to say this video is probably going to be combined with my NREMT tips and tricks video and like the advice that you guys keep asking for, but I thought this would be kind of a good way to combine it. So if you want to get to that stuff, keep watching this video. Hi, hello, it's back to future me after you just watched past me from where I worked. I did end up having a call. I forgot to record because it was 6 in the morning and we had to pick someone up and take them from the nursing home to dialysis. It's like 45 minutes away. So I ended up working like an hour overtime, which isn't really a big deal. Yeah, okay. Now, finally, onto the advice that we've all been waiting. Okay, you guys, tip number 1, and it's the most important tip or piece of advice that I can give you, and the rest of them, because I have 5 very important ones, and the other, actually, take that back, I have 6 very important ones, and then all of the rest tie into this first one, so this is how important it is. Read the book. That's the biggest piece of advice I can honestly give you for the National Registry. Don't skim the book. Don't just look at the pictures. Obviously, if you're doing that, what are you doing? But read the book. It is so important that you actually set time, sit down, and read to absorb the material, not skim. Let's repeat that because it's that important. Absorb, not skim. I really wish that I still have my book that I use for the National Registry, but I will insert a picture of it right here. I had to give it back to my school where I did take an NREMT class through my school senior year. I don't know if I've ever said that, but now you know. When I say read the book and to actually read to absorb rather than to skim, I mean read all of the chapters from pretty much page 1 to the very end of the book. Read it. And when you are reading, you want to go somewhere that's quiet. Find you a really nice spot. I always loved to go outside on my porch, and that was like my prime study area. There was no other sounds there to bother me, nothing. I would never have my phone either. Put your phone away when you are studying for this test. You need to be fully engaged in whatever it is you're reading to fully absorb the material. So that's what I mean by read the chapters to absorb them rather than just read the chapters and skim them because you think, oh, I want to get it done quicker. No, you actually want to make time and really learn this material because you're going to be using it. My second tip that I have for you guys is to take notes over the chapters. So take chapter 1 all the way to whatever chapter you have and take notes over all of them. So one thing I did is I had a designated notebook just for my National Registry book, and I would title at the top chapter 1. I would look at the paragraph that I was reading, see what it was about. Say it was about wound care, then I would go over to my notebook and I would write wound care and have my header. That way I'm like, oh, I know this is chapter 1. It's talking about wound care, and then I would go into like my bullet points. I will say the National Registry book that I had a lot of extra fluff in it that wasn't very important, so you do not have to write down everything that the book says word per word. You want to read what the book is saying, go to your notes, and then basically from memory write down what you had just read. That way it helps you to remember it better. I mean, the book is there if you need to go back and reference it, but you want to write down only the important things. And what I mean by that is if there's certain vital signs you need to know, write it down. If there's steps, like the steps on how to take care of a wound, like the example I just gave you, then you want to write that down in like your little bullet points under that header. That way you are writing down the steps of wound care, and the more you write things down, the more likely you are to remember it. My third tip I have for you guys also relates back to the book and a little bit outside of the book, but that is to do practice problems. There were practice problems in every chapter and then at the end of every chapter in the book that I had. You want to actually do those practice problems. Read the chapter and everything that it says, and when you come to a practice problem, stop what you're doing, write that practice problem down into your notes so it all ties in together like I mentioned in the beginning. Write that problem down, answer it, and then don't look if you got it right or wrong yet. You will want to check whether you got the practice problems right at the very end after you have answered every single one. That way you don't get defeated thinking, man, I missed that one, and you start beating yourself up and then you can't even focus on what you're doing. So you want to check your problems at the very end. There are also numerous apps and practice problems online. I'm going to link a bunch of them down below in the description box so you can check those out and use them for yourself. But there's all kinds of things you can find and get access to that have extra practice problems rather than just the ones in the book. And usually these are set up more like you arrive on scene, the patient is unconscious, you check for a pulse, the pulse is blah, 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 blah. And then you hook them up to the monitor, their vitals are blah, 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 blah. and just from that, what could be wrong with them. But you really want to try to do as many practice problems as you can to familiarize yourself with how the questions are set up before you go take the National Registry. Because if you don't do that and you get there to the National Registry exam, you start reading these questions and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even know. They're so long, they're so in depth. What is it I'm looking for? And that's why the practice problems are so important. They'll help you get prepared, you stay calm, so when you go take the National Registry, you're not as freaked out. Going along with doing the practice problems, another thing you need to really grasp is why you missed that question. So if you missed a question, put a star by it or highlight it. That's what I always done in my notebook, and that way I can go back to it later on and really understand, okay, this is why I got it wrong. And then going on from that, you need to understand what is the right answer and why that answer is correct. Because I will say, on the National Registry, there will always be 2 questions that are correct. Well, I won't say always, but there usually are 2 questions that are correct. But one of them is going to be more correct just because of the scenario and the situation that's going on within the question. Tip number 4, very similar to tip number 3, but it expands a little bit, and that is to take practice exams. Now, in my book, there were some practice exams. Highly recommend you do those, but don't take these practice exams until you have fully read all the chapters, you've done all the practice problems. Then that's when you want to go on to the exams, because if you try to just jump into the exam without doing all the previous steps I just mentioned, you're going to probably not pass and you're going to get really discouraged. So you want to take it in baby steps, and then finally, after you've read the chapter, you've done the practice problems, you know why you got the practice problems wrong that you did, and you've corrected them, that is when you take your practice exam. You can easily Google NREMT practice exams and you will see all kinds. There are free ones, but there are also some that you have to pay for, and I will leave all of those that I can find in the description box below for you so you can take practice exams. But other than that, there's really nothing I can say other than take multiple, go over all of your exams after you finish them, and just like back to tip number 3, why did you miss the questions that you missed after you took your exam and you see what you got wrong? You always want to go through and correct yourself, and that way you can learn from your mistakes. Tip number 5, just one word, flashcards. Flashcards are your best friend. I use these in middle school, high school, and now I keep using them in college, and I really use them when it came to studying for the NREMT. So like I have basically been preaching, when you miss a question, something else you can do is write that question that you missed on the front of an index card, and then on the back you want to write the correct answer and then why that answer is correct. That way you can always go back and re-quiz yourself on the questions that you've gotten wrong. Something else you can do with flashcards are go through and write down the steps of something. So for example, treating burns, there are all kinds of steps involved in that. So you can write on the front of your card, burn care, and then on the back you can list your steps. So when you're going through and you're studying, you know, you're flipping through your flashcards and you come through it and it says burn care. So then you would say, okay, step 1, step 2, and fill in the blanks basically, and that's one way you can quiz yourself. Something else you can use on your flashcards is vital signs. So one thing I done is I would write down the normal vital signs for pediatrics, regular adult, senior citizens, things like that. That way I could really become familiar with the normal vital signs. Lastly, another way you can use flashcards is for certain medications. I really struggled with the medication chapter of the National Registry, because there's so many and so many different uses for them. So you can literally write on a flashcard, for example, baby aspirin, and on the back write when you would give baby aspirin, why you would give baby aspirin, the milligrams that is the max amount. Kind of get what I'm saying? Just really utilize flashcards, especially on things you don't understand. That way you can always go back to them at any time of the day. You can literally take them with you anywhere and study on the go. Lastly, tip number 6 is to just simply don't overthink. My course instructor told us the KISS method, which is keep it simple, stupid. And I will say, most of the time she was right. I would get on these questions, I would overthink them and overanalyze, and half the time I really screwed myself. And it was the simplest answer possible. So you really need to just think things through. Don't overthink, but trust your gut. That's something that I didn't do, and I really overthought. I'm an overthinker. I worry about things, and I really screwed myself, like I just said. So really, go with your gut, because most of the time, your first instinct is correct. The very last thing I'm going to say is that the NREMT is meant to trick you, but just don't let it scare you. The questions are meant to be hard and challenging and confusing, but don't let that get to you. Be confident. Go in there, clear your mind of everything else, and just sit down and take the test. You can do it. I believe in you. I truly think if I can get through it, then anybody can get through it. I really hope these tips helped, and I wish you all the best of luck on your national registry. If there's any certain questions that I actually didn't answer that you would like for me to answer, you can always follow me on my Instagram. The link's always down in the description box below, and you can DM me or you can leave a comment on this video if there's another question that you have that I didn't get to. But those are my tips for the National Registry. I really hope you like this video. I hope it helps you. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those post notifications. I have a giveaway going on right now too. It ends January 25th. I'm giving away a $50 Starbucks gift card. So if you want to enter that, the link to the video will be down in the description box as well, so you can go watch the video and learn all of the rules. The last thing I want to say before ending off this video is thank you so much for the people who have requested this video and commented on my videos in the past and messaged me on Instagram asking if I would do this. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to actually sit down and film it. And this video is still not the best that it probably could have been, but I really hope that my tips that I gave you were helpful. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. I would love to help. I wish you guys the best of luck. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.